So I think my dad was using my computer one day and he stumbled across my files and he's like, "No, what's all this music?" And I'm like, "This is my music." He's like, "No, no, this what?"
Okay, alright.
Yo, it's Nuno Shamu.
Oh, this song is so.
Let's go. Levity. 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 I see a sad girl sat next to me. I see a homeless man dressed messily. I ain't even trying to build chemistry. I just wanna give him levity. It ain't no felony to try and lift them up with a remedy. This is my legacy. I just wanna give him levity. I wanna build a world from the world, a home from a home. I know it sounds absurd, but your own point of view has heavily been blurred because you ain't seen the plight of the unheard. Uncared for, in travesty, the silent majority that we don't see, the silent majority that's on its knees. We just keep on walking up and down the streets, refusing to take notice. The pride that we have is harsh and ferocious. The government supposed and help claims were bogus. The pictures that we had were taken out of focus. We need to stop walking in stealth, dip hands in our pockets and share our wealth. Find other ways to love and to help. The person that I'm starting with is myself. I see a sad girl sat next to me. I see a homeless man dressed messily. I ain't even trying to build chemistry. I just wanna give him levity. It ain't no felony to try and lift them up with the remedy. This is my legacy. I just wanna give him levity. Ever since the day that I was born, the day I greeted the world, my first big yawn. One thing on my mind, one thing I've sworn: to lift others up. I ain't scared of scorn. I ain't scared of the dirty looks that come my way. I ain't scared of the words that others may say. The picture that I've given myself is this: is to somehow brighten up everybody's day. So I keep on zooming, keep on booming, never assuming the people's lives are blooming by the smiles on their face while I'm on my race. I'll keep on soothing, just call me King Coolant. Peace by name, peace by nature. Other rappers only care about paper and haters. You don't have to give me no reward. The rewards that I deserve, I'll be giving them later. I see a sad girl sat next to me. I see a homeless man dressed messily. I ain't even trying to build chemistry. I just wanna give him levity. It ain't no felony to try and lift them up with a remedy. This is my legacy. I just wanna give him levity. You come to me, I don't care what you see. I just wanna give you levity. You come to me, I know what you need. I just wanna give you levity. Levity, 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 levity. Listen. L to the E to the V-I-T-Y, L to the E to the V-I-T-Y, L to the E to the V-I-T-Y. That's levity.
Welcome to the studio, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tigon Media Productions. We have the Wentorum instruments here doing the whole job for up to date. All the technicalities and everything is by Benny, the chief executive of Wentorum. And the Tigon Media Production presents to you the only one and amazing, incredible, multi-talented Nunodaman. This is the original Nunodaman. Any other Nunodaman is a fake Nunodaman.
Facts.
So we brought you here into the studio doing this recording with us. He's a multi-talented. He's a singer-songwriter. He's a rapper, an R&B singer, a comedian, a sport comedian on TikTok with close to 300,000 followers, and also an actor as well. So he's got so many bows of arrows and so many arrows to his bows to fire out there. A multi-talented guy. Welcome to Tigon Media Production, Mr. Nuno the man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for the warm welcome. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah, if we may start again. Where does that name Nunodaman comes from?
Nunodaman. So, when I was around, I think I was like 12, 13. I think I was 12. So I'm a massive football fan. I think people who know me for that sort of thing will know that I really love football. And so there was a game on the PlayStation 3, I think it was. They still make it today, but I had it on PlayStation 3. It was called Pro Evolution Soccer, where you could obviously play as your favorite team. And there was a mode on the game where you could create your own footballer. And so I was a massive Cristiano Ronaldo fan. I still am, I mean, Messi's the GOAT, but Ronaldo is still a very good player. So when I saw there was a mode on the game where you could create your own player. And so I was like, I want to create my own player, but I want to create myself. I want to make him like Ronaldo. So I got the same height, the same weight, the same attributes as Ronaldo. I just made him obviously my skin tone. And I wanted to give him a name. So I Googled Portuguese names that start with N. And the first thing that came up was Nuno. So I was like, okay, so my guy's going to be called Nuno. And then that translated. I told my best friend about it. And then that nickname kind of spread. So I was known as Nuno in popular circles. And then when I started writing music, obviously I needed a name. So I thought to myself, how can I make Nuno sound cool? How can I make it sound rappery? So I added the man on the end. So that's where the name Nunodaman came on.
So if I want to say Nunodaman in English, what do I say?
Nuno.
Sounds like numero uno. Like
numero uno. I had a rhyme.
Yeah.
Nuno, numero uno. Yeah, that's how I used to call myself back in the day.
You're a man of multiple talents. You're a singer-songwriter. You're an actor. You're a sport comedian. Very, very interesting. But my first question is what first got you into music? Because a lot of people don't know your music aspect, that you're a multi-talented person and you're a fantastic rapper and an R&B singer. What brought you into music the first time?
For me, I've always been around music. I think my parents are pastors of a church, of a gospel church here in Liverpool. So I think there wasn't really a time where I was like, this is my first music experience. As long as I can remember, ever since I was a child, I've always been in around music. Especially my dad used to play albums in the car or at home, and obviously we have a fantastic choir at our church. So I was very, very involved with music from literally since birth. So I kind of have no choice but to be talented in this regard. So yeah, I've always grown up around music.
That's great. So may I ask, who really inspired you to make music?
I think I've always sort of made music, but I think the first person to really inspire me is actually somebody that you know, sir, my good friend John. I think John has always been very talented when it comes to music, and
that's the emerging EDM producer.
Yes, JP.
Electric music. That
is very, very talented.
Very talented.
So I think seeing him make music, and obviously because I never knew really that, obviously I knew that I was talented when it came to music, but I never really considered making my own. But then seeing him, he had an iPad where he was on GarageBand, always making music, and then he released them on YouTube, he put them on SoundCloud, and I was like, wow, you're actually getting your music out there. And it was gaining a bit of traction. I was like, oh, I could do this. So I remember one of the first official songs that I kind of released, it was on Facebook at the time. It was with John. John came to my church after school once. I think we were in year 10, and we just made a song and we put it out there. And John was playing the keyboard and I was rapping over it. And I think from that moment on, I was like, yeah, because John's making music, I want to make music as well. And so I'd say that JP, Jono, is probably the person that inspired me to start making music and putting it out there.
That's fine. JP is very talented, very guy as well. And I think we're still going to bring him on this program
100%.
because he's a multi-talented guy as well.
He is.
Can I ask you, how would you describe the music that you typically create yourself? I mean, how do you do it? Music is what I am. It's not what I'm doing. It's what a lot of guys says in America and here in the UK. The music is what you are. It's not what you do. More. How do how do you describe the music that you typically create yourself? What are the process and the steps that gets you to that lyrics and that tune in your head and that rhythm, and then you bring it out? How do you do that?
I think for me, earlier on, it was always listening to music and gaining inspiration from that. But then the older I got, the more I started, because I used to write generic songs based on like my favorite rappers at the time. I used to create songs in that sort of style. But then I started to branch out and be like, let me write my own song. So what inspires me is I usually sit down and I look at life. I'm an observer. I'm not really, especially when in the early stages of my music process, I never used to really get involved with the things of life. I would just sit on the edge and just observe. And that's how I've gained the majority of inspiration for my songs, just sitting down, looking at life, looking at people, being like, that's interesting. Let me write that in a song. And then usually in my head, it's usually a phrase that I get, a phrase based on something. And then I'll be like, okay, how can I expand on this phrase? I studied English literature for my A-levels. And then obviously as an actor, we're always encouraged to take one word and expand it and create scripts and create writing on top of that. So using my creative writing process, take a word, put it down. What are the connotations of this word? And then that's when the lyrics are born. The last thing to come is the melody. And what I do is I usually find similar sounding songs on, the internet and stuff. And then I'm like, okay, this is how I want this song to sound. And sometimes I've had songs come to me in dreams before. Dreams are very powerful. And my phone is filled with voice notes from like 3 a.m. because I'll have a dream and then I'll wake up at 3 and be like, I need to record this because I can't forget this sound. So my phone is just filled up with like really weird 3 a.m. voice notes of me singing into my 3 a.m.
That thing you just said now, I always tell most of the artists and emerging artists about it. It reminded me of Quincy Jones and Michael Jackson, because Michael Jackson always said Quincy Jones brings the music out of my head and my mind and my soul and my spirit, the way I hear the music, the way I want the music to be. And that entails working with very good producers to bring that thing you were hearing in your head out of your mind, and then you say, that's it.
Yes.
You got it.
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds great. So who would you like to collaborate with outside the music genre you're working on right now? You're R&B and you're a rapper.
Yes.
Who would you like to collaborate with if you were asked outside your genre? Do you have anybody in mind? Any a singer-songwriter?
I went through a process. This was about a year or two ago, where I was just really invested in the music of Billie Eilish. And I don't know what possessed me, but I remember, I think it was obviously everything happened during lockdown, but I think it was during lockdown where I just for a day, for like a whole week, I just didn't do anything other than listen to her music, because I think her lyrics are so powerful, and obviously her and her brother produce everything themselves, and they're still very, very young. So I was like, this is fascinating. And then just listening to her music, and obviously it's completely different to the kind of music I make. I often wonder what an interesting dynamic it would be, having my sort of music and her sort of music combining to create what I hope is something beautiful. So I'd probably say Billie Eilish is definitely somebody outside of my normal remit that would, I think, a great song could be made.
I think a lot of your followers and a lot of your fans, they're discovering a different page and another Nunodaman right now. We are unleashing the music part of Nunodaman to the fans out there, because I'm sure with your over 200,000, close to 300,000 followers you've got on TikTok, not many of them knows that you are so talented in music.
So
No.
But obviously with things like this, I'm trying to get that out there.
You are there, because when I look at you guys, when you were with Tigon at the Value Theater, Community Theater, Nunodaman, JP, Shona Gibson, Chantel, Dee, and all of you.
Yes, sir.
You were like a lion in a lion's den waiting to be unleashed. You know what I'm saying? To go out there and then devour and show your music by devouring, and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm so glad we have you here this afternoon. And
It's because
if you could go, on stage to open a floor to any artist, who would it be?
any artist.
That I think that has been inspiring you and that you love so much, either in the same genre or in a different genre, that you would like to open the floor for in the UK and outside United Kingdom as well. It doesn't have to be in the UK. Who would you like to open the floor for?
I think obviously we're probably going to get on to favorite artists soon, but I think the answer to this one is fairly easy for me because obviously somebody who is a massive inspiration of mine and somebody who I think it would be an honor to open for, and that's Big Mike Stormzy. I think that would be an honor. I don't like because obviously similar vibes, similar music. Obviously Stormzy sings now, which is something that I've always done. But I think that would be an honor to open for Stormzy in the O2 or anywhere really. Just
Yeah, because I listen to Stormzy's music. It's a bit religious as well.
yeah,
And you guys have something very common there because your background is very religious as well. Your dad is a pastor, and something like that. I think that will really resonate together smoothly, And again, what is one message you will give to the thousands of your fans and followers out there on TikTok and all social media platforms and physically out there as well? What is one fantastic message you've got for them?
I've always been a big believer in individuality, being yourself. I think when I was younger, I used to fall into a trap of wanting to be like other people. And so many people told me that, like, why would you want to be other people? No, you're very interesting yourself. And I think there's beauty in individuality. And so I get DMs all the time, people wanting to go into my line of work on the TikTok side of things. Oh, how did you do it? We wanna grow our own channel. How did you do it? And the one thing that I tell them is there's no recipe for success. I can't tell you that make this kind of video and you'll be famous or use this hashtag or whatever. Just be yourself and people will find you. And I think that's one thing that I've been pleasantly surprised by in this whole, on the TikTok side of things. Like you said, I'm close to 300,000 followers, and I reflect on that. I'm like, it's 300,000 people who just like me for being myself. I haven't tried to make content like this person or that person. I've been myself, and I'm reaping the rewards of that. So that's one thing that I'd give to followers, anybody who's trying to achieve anything. Just don't be a carbon copy, be an original, be you, and you'll go far.
Like I rightly said when we started this interview, I said this is the original Nunodaman, and any other Nunodaman anywhere in the world is a fake Nunodaman. 100% got the original right here, right at servers right now.
Yes, sir.
So, what would you be doing right now if it wasn't for your music career?
I think I'd be.
I think I've seen a little bit of that.
Yeah, I think because like you said, I wear many hats.
You've got so many arrows to your talent.
I did.
Bows of talent that you can fire out there.
Yeah, so I'd pretty much, I think if I wasn't making music, I'd obviously be doing the things that I'm doing, but I think that I'd miss a certain level of creativity. I'd miss if I wasn't making music. Obviously, like you mentioned, I'm an actor, I'm a comedian. I do TikToks. But if I didn't have music, I wouldn't have an outlet to express myself in a different way. And I think that's why music is 100% important to me. But if I wasn't, making music, I'd probably be in my bedroom making TikToks, or I'd be, going for auditions, or
auditions or what?
In acting.
Acting, yeah.
I've had the pleasure of auditioning for some major productions. So it's
Could you give us a little hint into that as well? Because you're a man of many talents. I was supposed to come and watch your show outside Liverpool
yes.
at a theater. In what city was that?
It was in I believe it was in Manchester, wasn't it?
In Manchester.
Oldham.
In Oldham, yeah, in Oldham, yeah. There was a theater show you were involved in acting, and but due to some unforeseen circumstances that I couldn't make it. Could you give us a little hint into your acting life?
Yeah.
So a lot of people see you on TikTok. They don't know you're an actor, you're a singer-songwriter, and sport comedian is only what they know. So we're unleashing other parts of you right now in this interview. Just give us a little bit about the acting side of you.
Yes. So I went to drama school in Manchester, in Greater Manchester and Wigan. I did a 3-year course and I graduated in 2020 with a
Wow.
in acting.
Wow.
So that was
a round of applause, man.
Yeah, so I did 3 years in drama school, graduated at the infancy of the pandemic, but I was fortunate enough to get an acting agent. So auditions in the acting world look very different how they did, pre-pandemic. A lot of things are done on Zoom and submitting self-tapes. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing. The production you mentioned was actually the first production that I got. I actually had to leave drama school for a term to be in that production in Oldham, at the Oldham Coliseum. So I've always known since I was a child that I was destined to be on a stage. And it's interesting that that's manifested in various different platforms. Being on a stage means as a musician I'm on a stage, as an actor I'm on a stage.
Wow.
As a TikToker I'm on a virtual stage. So it's interesting.
I remember the TikTok thing, and I look at your face, it just makes me laugh because I can't help it. You make me laugh all the time. Even when I'm feeling down and I go on TikTok and I say, let me see what Nunodaman has got today, I end up laughing with a smile on my face. And I always say to myself, I wish people knows how many talent this man has got.
Yes, sir.
An actor, a singer-songwriter, a sport comedian, and you're doing everything excellently. I mean, you deserve a round of standing ovation for that, Where have you performed in Liverpool, and maybe just 2 places you've performed in Liverpool?
The privilege to perform at the Liverpool International Music Festival on the Academy stage. That's LIMF here in Sefton Park a couple of years ago. That was a real honor because, growing up in Liverpool, everybody knows about LIMF. It's that summer festival that everybody goes to. And, as a young person especially, it's very popular. So to get the chance to perform there at the Academy stage was the honor of a lifetime. And for a second place was again in Liverpool at Anfield, for a dinner for ticket season holders, I believe it was a couple of years ago. And Jamie Carragher was in attendance. So again, just performing at an iconic place like Anfield. I know it wasn't like in the stadium. I mean, it was in the stadium, but even there, you could feel the magnitude of the place that you're in. And obviously, like I said, Jamie Carragher was in attendance, and that was a real honor to perform in those 2 places.
That's great, Jamie Carragher, and then your lookalike person, your carbon copy.
Michael Richards.
Michael Richards. I just wanted to say that. I remember the name. I wanted to say it. Because that laugh that always come at the end of your TikTok looks like if you're twin brothers. Yes. And I hope and wish Michael Richards is going to see this interview as well.
I'll send it to him.
That'll be great. That's great. So how do you think the internet has impacted the music business?
It has been huge. I think the internet in general is just a massive thing. I don't fully understand it, and I'm supposed to be part of this generation that knows how to use the internet. But it's beyond comprehension. Especially, I can speak on it from a TikTok point of view because I've been on TikTok even before I started making content. I was aware of TikTok. And I think TikTok has been so influential to furthering so many music artists' careers. I think the first person that springs to my mind is Doja Cat. I think she was making music before TikTok, but then when TikTok came about, and obviously, the concept of TikTok is it's very simple. Anybody can make a TikTok, but I think it was just so huge. Like she released one of her songs, I think it was Say So, and it was the first TikTok song to have like a dance. You know, that was when TikTok used to be a dancing app. But then the virality of that song was so huge. Everybody, even if you didn't listen to her music, everybody knew who Doja Cat was because you just heard her song on TikTok all the time. And then obviously that translated into she released an album after that. That album did amazing. And then off the back of that, she's one of the highest selling artists in this generation. And I think she owes a lot to the internet. The internet is one of those things where you release something. I think I mentioned Billie Eilish before. Her first song, she released it on SoundCloud at 13. And then she went to bed. She woke up 1 million streams. And she's like, well, what happened? She doesn't know what happened. The internet pushed that song out to so many different people. And before you knew it, at 13, she was touring. You know, and that's... So it's a very interesting place, the internet, for spreading music.
Actually, it changed the landscape of the music industry so badly that an artist can do everything themselves right now, promote themselves, do their own production, do their own distribution, and do their own advertising and stuff like that, you know. And it's been marvelous. It's really caused a lot of eruption. Can I put it that way? Positive eruption is the side of the artist, but a little bit not on the side of the record labels and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
And what's your second song called? The one you're working on right now?
Forget Before.
Forget Before.
Forget Before.
Okay, all right. We're gonna listen to some of your music before the end of the interview, you know. And which famous musicians do you admire most? Which your genre?
I've mentioned his name before, but it has to be Stormzy. I think. Obviously, I grew up listening to music, but I never really had one artist that impacted me the way Stormzy did. I think I was in college. That was 2015-16, where grime, which was the genre of music that Stormzy started on, I think he's transcended grime now. He started doing everything. But back then was when he was solely a grime artist. I remember listening to Shut Up. Shut Up was his first big song that kind of did amazing numbers. I remember listening to that. I was like, this is really fun. Like, this is, I mean, I obviously the whole grime sort of culture is not something that I resonate with 100%, you know, as a person who grew up in the north of England in a middle class family. I don't really resonate with the grime culture. But I was like, this is really, really fun. And so I was like, who is this guy? You know, this rapping in a red tracksuit in a park. I like him. Let me follow him and listen to more of his music. And then I found out that he was a Christian. I was like, okay. Because obviously my faith is something that's 100% important to me. And it's, you know, I think it's something that guides everything that I've always made when it comes to music, you know, my faith. And, you know, hearing Stormzy is a Christian, and obviously he doesn't hide that. And so seeing somebody like Stormzy in the industry who is the same religion and faith as me is powerful. You know, I think that's one of the main reasons as to why I admire him so much. He doesn't hide the fact that he's a man of faith, you know, and that's something that's important to me. So Big Mike Stormzy is the main inspiration, I'd say.
Because I love your the one you're working on now. Do you mind if we play it now? And can you sing to it for us that we play? And it's very interesting because I was trying to listen to the lyrics and say, what is this guy talking about right here? You can crawl.
Why run when you can crawl?
Why run when you can crawl? I love the beginning. Ashamu is what?
It's my nickname. It's one of my middle names, actually.
Oh, right.
My middle name's Ashamu. It means the chosen one.
The chosen one.
I'm thinking of naming my first album Ashamu.
What's in store? So the right sweet, you can trust me. Why run when you can crawl? Steady wins the race, never losing faith. Live today, forget before. Living in the moment, yeah, we own it. forget the past. We knew it couldn't last. Put our hope into the future, it all can turn to trash. So we're living in the now. Drop the anchor, raise the flag. We can wait for better weather. No need to go as fast as they want us to, 'cause together we're incomparable. It's a new script, setting standards you're not getting to. No one's gonna mold us, no Capulets or Montagues. Despite the stormy seasons, we'll be comfortable. Yeah, dynamic duo, call us Batman and Robin. Fighting against the Jokers and the Riddlers, we will solve them. The enemies we are fighting, they're not a problem, 'cause all the words they say mean nothing. I'm liking the way you're making me feel every day, babe. I wanna say, there is no way I'm gonna wait. Hey, hand in my hand, feeling so grand, going to plan, yay. Blue is the sky, green are our hearts, there's no link of grace. So throw the clocks against the wall. The pieces shatter, but it doesn't matter. We don't know what's in store. So the ride's sweet, you can trust me. Why run when you can crawl? Steady wins the race, never losing face. Live today, forget before. Living in the moment, yeah, we own it. The time is here and it is ours. Why wish upon a star when we can aim for Mars? Why aim to ride in cars when we can ride our bikes with handlebars? Yeah, handling our future since the start, 'cause nothing's got a hold of us. They can't find our sense 'cause we are odorless. Hold the bus, clean intentions only, this ain't ominous. Lacking in worldly wealth, but we're rolling in heavenly opulence. Our story, it's synonymous with Remus and with Romulus. We weren't built in a day, we have misunderstandings, but the empire we've built, it will always stand in glorious victory for you and me, with no conformity to time or to anyone or anything. Clocks against the wall, the pieces shatter, but it doesn't matter. We don't know what's in store. So the ride's sweet, you can trust me. Why run when you can crawl? Steady wins the race, never losing face. Live today, forget before. Living in the moment, yeah, we own it.
Hey guys, quick one. Would you like to shoot more YouTube or TikTok content? Now, my name is Vande and we shooted all these videos of Wentorum Vlogging Kit. If you want your YouTube or TikTok studio in the back, check the link down below and see what it can do to grow your following. Now back to our main guest.
Oh, Mr. Nunodaman, that was a great music, man. I'm sure most of your fans watching this interview now, they're gonna say, is that Nuno?
That is me.
That ain't Nuno, man. His brother or they never know your music side, man. This is what we're trying to unleash right now, because you're so quiet about your music time on the TikTok and social platforms, and look at that voice, man. That was a golden and velvet voice. When I listen to this song, I say, we gotta do something with this song. The lyrics in the song, and we can just put this down. And I know you gonna sing this song, brother. Us, I'm gonna tell you that right. You're gonna sing this song. Yeah. So, what's the best advice you've ever been given? You know, that music is still in my head. What was the title of that song again?
Forget before.
See that again?
Forget before.
Forget before.
Forget.
Whoa, that sounds deep, brother.
It's deep.
That is really deep.
Very
Forget before.
Forget before. Let's start anew.
Only the deep can communicate with the deep. You know that? I think I'm getting the message right now.
What's up?
So yeah. You know, what's the best advice you've ever been given before? Both in your music career, your acting career, your comedy career as a sport comedian and TikTok, and you know, what would you say is the best advice you've been given before in life?
I think the best advice that I've ever been given is trust your own skills and your own abilities. My mom always tells me that the world hasn't seen anything yet when it comes to me. She's always reminding me every time that,
That's great.
every time I don't get an audition.
Thank you, Mom.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mom.
But every time,
thanks.
yes, every time that I don't get an audition or a video of mine doesn't do well or I'm feeling discouraged about something, my mom always tells me, Hollywood hasn't seen anything yet. You're coming.
Wow.
And trust the talents that God has blessed you with. And I think that that's one thing.
I just want to say that right now.
Yes.
Most of the movie production companies, most of the record labels, Universal, BMG, EMI Records, you better watch out for this guy. You better grab him before anybody grabs him if you really want him. Because this is a lion we're unleashing to you right now. He's a multi-talented guy. He's an actor. He's a singer-songwriter. He's a rapper. He's an R&B singer. And a sport comedian. Oh my God. What is songs of arrows, man? So tell us more about your advice in the music industry. Do you have any mentor in the music industry? And if yes, what ways has he or she been enlightening you in the music industry?
I think that there are two people. The first person I'd have to say is my dad. I think my dad has been very influential.
Thank you, Dad.
Thank you, Dad.
Thanks, Dad. Yeah. Mom and Dad.
Mom and Dad.
That balance the ground right now.
So I think when I remember an encounter that I had with my dad, because I used to write a lot of songs. Before I had a specific sound, I used to copy different artists and write a song like them. And then I saved them all on my computer. I think my dad was using my computer one day and he stumbled across my files. And he's like, "No, what's all this music?" And I'm like, "This is my music." He's like, No, this is you trying to be like this person. This is you trying to be like this person. And he was like, all of these songs, they don't have any meaning. I think back in the day, I used to write songs like, "Oh yeah, look at me, I'm the best. I do this, I do that. You're not good as me." Yeah. Kind of classic rap music that had no meaning. And the one thing that my dad said to me that stopped me is like, "No, all of your songs have to have a meaning. They can't just be like, oh, and look at this, I'm the best." Generic sort of songs. Your songs must have a meaning. They must have a purpose. They're unique to you, not to anybody else. Don't try and write music like Stormzy or like this person or like that. Be you. And then when I got that message, I was like, huh. I look back on all the old songs that I've written. I was like, they don't have any meaning. So when I started looking for a purpose and finding meaning in my songs, that's when I truly developed as a songwriter. And I think my dad is the biggest person when it comes to like me writing songs. I always remember that every time I write a song. And the second person would probably have to be yourself, sir.
Who are you talking about?
You, sir. Always me. Yes, sir. I'll follow that. And honestly,
Tigon.
Oh. Tigon and yourself, sir, have been very, very influential to me. Obviously, giving me a platform to perform at certain events and certain stages, and also guiding me. I remember those sessions that we used to have in the valley, where we all sat around the desk, taking notes. I value those things, and I think
as you know, Tigon is just a social enterprise.
Yes,
it's like a charity organization.
Yeah,
everything we do, we never ask you for money.
Not at all.
Never take money from anybody. And what we do is, because I grew up in the music industry myself, and I had a stint with Liverpool Institute for Performing Arts.
Yes.
And when I leave Institute Performing Arts, I used to have two mentors then. It was Peter Hilton from The Fam. He was the lead vocal of The Fam, and now the chief executive of Sony Entertainment, Sky Entertainment, which is David Pijilingi. Those are my two mentors then in the music industry. And David Pijilingi and Peter Hilton actually draw my eyes to what is called music business management. Because a lot of artists, they sort of know how to write songs, they know how to write lyrics, they know how to write their own musical arrangements and stuff like that, but most of them don't know anything about music business when it comes to mechanical rights, copyright, royalties, and so on, and synchronization and stuff like that in the music industry. So that was what drew me so much to both Peter Houghton of the Fam, lead vocal Fam. He's a lead vocal singer for Fam. I know you know Fam in Liverpool and in Manchester, even all over the world. They're very popular. And David Pigelingi as well. He's now the chief executive of I think it's called Sky Entertainment.
Yes.
In America, they are in Los Angeles and they're in London as well. Wow. So those were my mentors, and that's what I'm passing to you guys. If not for those guys, you wouldn't know me. You know, although I grew up in a music family, my uncle, late Bobby Benson, was one of the pioneers of African music. We call it high life, you know. And he was one of the pioneers in Africa.
Yes.
You know, and that was where I got my own music tint from, you know. Now, would you like to be an independent artist, you know, or a record label artist? If yes or no, why?
With me, I think I'm still very much when it comes to the music side of things, I'm still very much in my infancy. So I think for now, I think it's important to be independent. Whether that leads me to, you know, signing with a label down the line, I don't know. But I think right now, as I'm in my infancy when it comes to music, I think it's important to still maintain, you know, ownership of what it is that I put out. Especially, you know, you don't want to sign to a label when you've hardly, you know, made a splash for yourself, and then the label is telling you what to put out and what to make or what not to make. I think for right now, you know, as I'm starting, I'd love to remain independent. And you know me, Sam, a very, very easygoing, open person. So who knows what the future holds?
Yeah, and then let's give some emerging artists a bit of education there right now.
Yeah, I think that's what we need as well.
Because with record labels like Universal Music Records, EMI, BMG, Columbia Records, Virgin Records, name them.
Yes.
There are different kinds of agreements.
Yes.
Between a record label and a musical performing artist. So there are some contracts that gives you the freedom and liberty and authority of your own creativity,
yes,
your own production, and they handle just your distribution and advertising and promotion. So it depends on the different kinds of agreements that you want to put pen on paper to. That's what I always tell most of the emerging artists. Know what you're signing, you know. Some of them signs and they don't know all the clauses in the agreements between a record label and an artist. Also, we have agreement between a manager and an artist, and we have entertainment agreement and stuff like that. So those are the areas I was trying to educate you guys in when you guys were in Valley Community Theater, and everything was free.
Yeah.
You know, I was just doing it voluntarily for my own health as well.
We appreciate
you know, and it is my satisfaction to see people emerging.
Yes, sir.
I'm putting my volunteering and what I have, so I don't waste it, into bringing you guys up then. And I still do some of it now. That's what keeps me going, actually. Otherwise, you know what I'm going through at the moment.
Yes.
So, but with thank God Almighty, I can still do that. And now, your first song, let's go back to your first song, right?
Yes.
It's called Levity.
Levity.
What is the inspiration behind Levity? Because I knew you did Levity when you were very young.
Yeah.
You know, and it's another track that really touches me. Most of your tracks have been in the freezer, Nunodaman. We gotta bring them out of the freezer now and put them right in the microwave. And then get it on the table.
Feed it to the people.
Feed it to the people, because you're hiding a massive talent. Come on, brother. You're on that TikTok. We gonna show them what you're made of. You're gonna unleash you. So I can't believe this, man. And somebody like this has a massive talent like this, and you just putting it in the freezer. Oh my God, we gotta get this out of the freezer. You know that song Betty Wright sang? And Betty Wright said, remember when my mama saw this lyrics, he said, we gotta do something about this song. The melody, the song. But the mother said, I know you're not going to sing that song. Because it was about a girl making a love for the very first time. So the mama say, I'm going to sing that song. So if you're listening to that, you get it there. But we got to do something about this. And you go sing this song. Because this is a massive talent. And you've been very humble about it. I think the upbringing has got a lot to do with this as well, And for somebody to be as humble as this, I know a lot of emerging artists out there, they're not as good as you in rapping and stuff, but they just make a lot of noise. And when you listen to the lyrics and it's not connecting very well, and so, this is a very good musical arrangement. The lyrics is fantastic, and the music is beautiful. I gotta be truthfully honest with you. All the record labels out there watching this right now, I know they're gonna do something about it because you have what it takes. You've got a lot of followers, which is one thing they look first. Yes, sir. And that's even on a different platform from your music talent, I ain't talking about your acting talent yet. This is massive. Now tell us a little bit. What's this cap you're wearing? What's the meaning of BASK?
BASK, that's Basel Athletics Sports Kits.
And whoa.
Basel stands for Buy and Save a Life.
Wow.
So this cap especially was given to me by Yusa, and honestly, I wear this cap everywhere. It's nice. The material's very good. But
what was the mission and vision behind Basel? What was the vision? Buy and Save a Life.
Buy and Save a Life. So that every percentage of the proceeds for each of the caps goes out to help different charities, and that's one of the reasons why I love it. Not just because of the aesthetics of the cap, but the message behind the cap as well. I think it's a brand that I'm very, very happy to be associated with, and anywhere I go, I'll wear them because I've worn this hat a lot. People who see me out in public know that I wear this hat.
Yeah, it's a brand that is still under development. Yes. Very happy by God's grace. 2023 is when it's really coming out bigger and brighter and massive by God's grace.
Yes, sir.
Because Basel means buy and save a life, like you rightly said, and it's sportswear.
Yes, sir.
We are calling on sport personalities, footballers, athletics, people, to patronize when it starts fully 2023.
Yes, sir.
And probably your twin brother as well. On a TikTok, Michael, we also love the concept because certain percentage of the proceeds is going towards the development of humanity and mankind. It's not just dressing up yourself wearing any sport wear. You're touching and changing other people's life. That is the end goal of it. So I'm saying that is the end goal of it. And that is why we love a lot of sport personalities, presenters, footballers, Olympic stars, boxers, golfers, cyclists, swimmers, name it, long tennis and short tennis. All of them to patronize that sport wear because it's going to come out big next year by God's grace, and we're still working on it. It's not been easy because of my health. Things have been like hills and valley, but it's just something I do to keep myself going, to keep the mind and the head busy. You know what I'm saying? So it's been so lovely having you on this interview, and I'm so glad that you unleash all the talents that you've got apart from being a sports comedian, which I really love. Because that brings smiles and laughter into my face and my mind and my soul. Whenever I'm feeling down, I said, let me go and watch Nunodaman on TikTok and make me laugh a little bit. You can put a price on and laughing. You know that? Sure. Ain't for sale.
It's not.
It comes from the mind and the heart. Then you laugh, But I'm so glad that we're unleashing your musical talent. People will soon get to know about your acting talents.
Yes.
Which is also coming up.
Very soon, yes.
So, and thank you so much. This is it all from Tigon Media Production. We are making use of equipment called the Wentorum, designed by a lady called Vendua. And she will be coming on our interview as well very soon to tell us about how she designs the products and what inspired her, how she got started, and how far she's gone. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching our incredible, fantastic, wonderful Nunodaman. Any other Nunodaman? It's a fake Nunodaman. We got the original right here. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Bye for now, and over and out.
Okay, alright.